Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the ResortLoop.com podcast. I'm your host, Bob Collar. Tim Scott is not with us tonight because he is, get ready to get angry, he is in the middle of his Western Caribbean 7-night cruise. We are expecting some trip reports from him. It's going to be very exciting once he does come back. But I do have with me, actually, my sister and niece, of all people, and we are going to talk about not a Disney park, but rather, or a Disney movie actually, but rather we are going off Broadway, and we're going to talk about The Lion King, because both of them have just recently got back from a trip to Cleveland, Ohio, the beautiful city of Cleveland, Ohio, where the river is not burning anymore, and we are, and they got to see The Lion King. So let me introduce Renee. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there she is. Okay. I wasn't sure where she was there. And Allison. Hello, Allison.
Hello, Uncle Bob.
And Allison is 17 years old and causing nothing but gray hair to her mother. So
Yes.
welcome to the palatial ResortLoop.com studios. Do you like the stone fireplace we've added?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely,
beautiful.
definitely.
Along with the Mickey Mouse matchstick holder adds
Well,
a beautiful touch.
Of course, we have to represent. That's what we're doing here. So you guys just recently, a couple of weeks ago, you went to see Lion King, which is
Yes.
off Broadway here. It's visiting Cleveland, I think, until the end of July.
Yes.
I think it's
middle
more
of
like
August.
the middle of
Middle of
August.
Middle of August, something like that. And first off, let me get your where was the play?
Do you remember the
It
name
was
of
at the Playhouse Square.
Playhouse Square,
Mhm.
which for anybody
Right.
who knows, Playhouse Square is the theater district for Cleveland,
Mhm.
beautiful theater district of Cleveland, with some of the most beautiful stages that really anywhere in the country. They are it's a beautiful venue there downtown Cleveland. So now the play itself, let's start with, you got there, and about where were you sitting?
We were right. We were in the orchestra section.
We were just a little to the right of the stage, facing to the right. Not quite in the center, but
Our
still enough.
row was NN. So we were about in the middle of the alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
So very close. You got
Very
there.
close. Yes.
And how does set us up with how does the show open?
Oh, it is unreal. It's actually the story of when Simba was born. It actually starts just like the movie does when Simba's born.
Yeah.
Right.
The stage is mostly dark in the beginning. They show some backlights over a screen with different type of African designs on it, very exotic looking, and
Very colorful.
yes, and one person came out, the person who actually played,
The
can't remember.
baboon.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I
his
can't
name
remember
now.
the baboon.
Rafiki.
Rafiki, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't mention
Yes.
too many names when they did the show, and it just
Now,
slipped my
now,
mind.
why don't you explain how the play is presented? Because the play is not presented. The people aren't really the characters.
No.
That's that
No,
right?
well, no, they're the characters. They're not in like fuzzy costumes or anything.
It's not
Like-
cheesy. It's
Yeah,
very,
it's very artistic,
very-
artistically done. That it's half the actor and half of the
Puppetry.
character.
They do.
Yeah,
they do a
puppets.
puppetry kind of thing,
Mhm.
kind of like the Finding Nemo musical at Walt Disney World in Disney's Animal Kingdom, where they're using kind of the puppets.
Right.
Now, did that distract from the story?
No.
You've
Not
both
at
seen
all.
Not at all.
Lion King, so
Mhm.
you know the story.
hundreds of times.
Um,
At first, when you're looking, you're kind of looking at the character or the actor just to see wow, like that's a real person in there. But once the music starts and the singing
And all the choreography they had to do with,
oh,
I mean, the costumes were incredibly huge. Like, especially my favorite was like the giraffes. They were people on stilts on all four, front legs and back
really?
legs.
On stilts?
on stilts.
Like everyone had these huge hats of like all the heads of all the animals. Like, you know, there was a real long neck for the giraffe, but it was all sitting on the one person's head.
Yeah.
And
wow.
So you didn't even see the person after a while. It was like a real giraffe was on the stage.
So you start to lose the actors and you actually see the characters come.
Yeah.
And another cool one was the just the design of all the costumes. Like with the cheetah, I really like that one too. Like the person had two sticks that held the front paws, and then their own feet were like the back paws of the cheetah. And there had to have been strings attaching the head of the cheetah to the head of the person. And so when they moved their head, the cheetah's head moved. So you could watch both heads move at the same time. And they just did like these really intricate neck movements that probably would have hurt my neck, but especially doing it night after night. But it was just so cool to watch because it looked like a real cheetah, the way the legs moved.
Like it was so
and
natural
everything.
that it just wasn't like a puppet moving its head back and forth the way it moved.
Right. So it's
It
not,
was
it's
just
not
like the
stick
actual
figures,
animal.
It's an actual three-dimensional animals
Right.
that are moved.
It was amazing.
Emotion comes from human beings. That's very cool. Now, so you say the story starts out with Simba's birth, like it normally does. Do they bring in a bunch of animals? Like they do with
all at once.
Pride Rock and all
Yes.
Pride Rock, yep.
They had
it was a moving rock, and so they kind of spun it slowly around as they walked up the steps to present Simba to the crowd of animals. And they had they had the cheetah, they had
cheetah, antelope. Like one person
antelope.
had one antelope on each arm and one on the head, and they would leap across the
They're
stage.
leaping across the stage.
They had people coming up the aisles in the actual audience, and some sitting up in the balconies, like on the sides. You know, there were some people playing their drums up there. And then on, there's two balconies, and then on the second one, they had other people singing up there. All the time, everybody is singing as they're doing their dance movements and their,
it's all
So
live.
they actually-
so it comes from all around you.
So they're actually in the audience.
In the audience.
Yes.
Up and down the aisles as well.
Yeah.
So the music and everything's just all around you. It's not just on the stage. It's just everywhere.
The people sitting upstairs had a pretty sour deal because they could only see what was on stage. They didn't get to see the people coming up the aisles. So definitely you don't want to sit in the balcony for this one.
Yeah. Try to get in the orchestra section.
Well, that's very cool. So when they're done with, obviously they get done with the scene of Simba's birth. How do they transition then? Where do they go next? Do they go directly to Scar? Do they go with Mufasa and Simba together?
they brought how they did the drawing and the tree of baby Simba.
Yeah.
They did in the movie.
Okay.
They bring down a screen that's you can see through most of it, but then it was thicker to see the actual shape of the tree, and then it had a light shine down in the middle to show little baby Simba, the little drawing.
Okay. And then where did they go after that? Then they brought the screen back up, I'm guessing, and then what happened?
But it wasn't like you noticed a screen coming down. It was done so smoothly,
Mostly with light.
Right, mostly with light that. It wasn't okay, now the next scene's coming.
Boom, there's a screen.
Right. It wasn't like that. It was with the lighting and everything, it just transitioned from one, scene to another. Just really, natural.
Really natural. Like they kept it dark so you really couldn't see what was going on behind the tree there, but then they did transition into Mufasa in the back.
Everything just flowed right into, and it stayed to the storyline.
Yeah, so when then they lifted up the tree, there was the first Mufasa scene, and it was like he was in the cave. They had it.
Oh wow! When Simba wakes him up and they go and do their thing. Wow.
Yeah.
That detail. Was there anything that was missing from the show, the play, compared to the movie?
Not a thing.
They pretty much covered everything.
Everything is
They even
a little
had
more.
the scene of the stampede. The
Really?
yes.
How did they pull that off?
They had like
it was amazing.
they had different pullouts, just like half canyon here, half canyon here, down in the center. And they had like behind the first one, they had the one branch that Simba hangs on to.
Oh right,
Up there.
yeah.
And it showed it like it looked like it was leveled, and they had just kind of like a rolling of
The stampede.
the stampede,
wildebeest.
the
The
wildebeest
wildebeest
running.
running.
And then they had actual actors come out and run, and they were mostly just running in place because it was all like they were running
sure.
straight towards you, but they had to do it obviously in place.
Right.
And they like lifted up they had cords strapped to them, so they lifted up the characters, and so
Oh wow.
they had to like lift little baby Simba up onto, and he held onto the branch, just being supported the entire time. And when it was just like, and then it all cleared out, and they had lots of smoke and everything, and it was just
Mufasa laying in the dirt. Oh wow.
It was amazing. Like you
Wow.
couldn't even tell. You know, he really looked like he jumped up on the branch, and it really looked like Mufasa fell into the trying to get
wildebeest and
Simba
Simba.
and the wildebeest. It looked like they trampled. I mean, it was almost like 3D.
Wow.
You know, the way that
They
it
were
was
coming at you at that point. That's what, that was,
Yeah, they were coming right at you. So it was almost like it was 3D.
Now, how close did the actors with the puppets? How close did they come to comparing to the movie and being similar to the movie?
I mean, like the movie as a cartoon does look more bright for children to see, but like the as far as like the colors, they were a little more subtle, except for the scene. I just can't wait to be king.
right,
song.
yeah.
They did like
They even did
extra
that,
bright
did they?
colors
Wow.
for that, but
extra
like
bright colors, and
it
they
was
had
all
like
very-
a mechanical. What was that? Like a
I don't know, these
what-
like giant birds.
giant birds
that they
Right,
rode on.
on.
Right.
You
right.
know,
Can't really distinguish what kind of animal it
But
actually
the
is. 'Cause it was
colors-
so colorful.
the
So
colors
like
were
a
so
colorful
bright.
ostrich kind of.
Yeah,
kinda like
They
that.
played it up,
Mhm.
and then the rest of it was more sophisticated. It was really like, more warm African colors rather than the bright ones that you would see in the movie.
Right.
But even
More
like when they're
natural.
running in the fields, when they're playing around, when Simba and Nala, they're running in the fields. The actors have grass,
They have grass skirts
Grass
and grass
skirts.
headdresses.
Oh wow.
and they move with
With-
like they
with the
sway with the wind,
Oh,
and
wow.
you don't see the actors.
Yeah.
You don't see the people. You just see the grass swaying. I mean, it's just,
Wow.
it was amazing.
It was. It really was.
Yeah. And the voices, Timon and Pumbaa,
Perfect on spot.
perfect.
Just
Really?
Yes.
like the voice actors for the movie.
Yes.
Exactly like them.
And Timon's, he was an actual puppet. So he was, he was not, it was a full Timon.
Timon.
It was a full Timon standing there, puppet.
Wow.
And the person stood behind him.
behind him
Moving.
with the puppet hands
Moving
and
hands
feet.
Wow.
And he was all green.
to
Timon
match
was
the background.
to match the background.
Yeah.
Ah.
But then the way he talked and the way he moved the puppet and the mouth and every mannerism, you didn't see
You
the
didn't see
man,
the guy.
you didn't see the actor anymore.
Wow.
His mannerisms were exactly like Timon's.
And in Hakuna Matata, their singing voices were the exact same.
Exact.
Like it was so like you
Right.
couldn't if you closed your eyes, you thought you would have like been in the theater seeing the movie.
Wow.
And same in the beginning of Can You Feel the Love Tonight? you know how he does.
And they're not lip
little singing.
syncing; they're actually singing.
They're really
singing.
doing it. They're really doing it.
Yeah.
And the character, like even the young
Simba.
I keep forgetting everybody's name. The young Simba, the young actor that played him was
He was so animated.
amazing.
So they actually had a kid.
A
playing
And
Simba.
when they
Noah.
transitioned to him being older, they all wore like young and old, same outfit, exact same outfit.
yeah.
So you
Oh,
still
the
knew.
actors, the
Yeah, the
actors
actors
were the
were
same
still wearing.
clothes, huh?
So
Yeah,
as
same
Simone
getup.
got older, his headdress was older.
Yeah,
like a
his-
teenager.
Yeah, like
headdress.
they all, the lions all had headdresses, and they had like lion heads above their real faces,
Right.
and
And they would move.
they would like move their head down, move it up, and
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
doing
I
it
know,
like
I know.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit about documentary on that, and it's actually hydraulics and pneumatic pumps that move the head, and the
Yeah.
actor has the ability. They have a little button in their hand that they can roll the button. It's like a wheel. They roll the wheel, and the head can come out really slow, or they roll it real fast. The head will come out fast, just to give it that life. So that really added to the
It was
to the
amazing.
characters.
Yeah.
Oh, and what about the hyenas? The
Oh,
hyenas and the way they moved.
hyenas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That
really
was-
cool. Their
I just-
arms were they had real long extensions, and that was the front of their feet, and then
Like-
their heads came way out, like
Yeah, the way they did like their like little mane thingy going from their head
Yeah.
all the way back
yeah,
was like was covering like the wire that moved the head, and it was so
yeah. so
Like-
the pack
like I
of
know what you're talking
hyenas,
about.
they really look like hyenas,
Yeah.
because
The
the
way they
arms,
stood.
yeah,
The way
The
they
front,
sat,
the
the way
front,
they moved.
front legs are longer than that. Oh, very cool. Now, the movie is. I mean, there are parts of that movie that are scary. With the play, what would be the age, the minimum age that you could take a kid to go see that play? Can you take a small child to see that play without them being frightened?
Maybe with the sounds, the intensity of the volume and everything, maybe not too young. But there were some children. There were a lot of children actually in the audience. I would say like
Scar was
Like 5 or
scary.
6.
I mean, he could be scary,
Yeah.
when he got angry.
and like some like the scene of the Starry Night when Simba is talking to his father who is dead. They have like
Oh,
they have
that
the
was
voice
amazing.
in the background, and it was just this might scare a smaller child, but they had like
Booming. It was booming.
booming voice, and they had a whole bunch of people like in the back, like they had the lights set so you couldn't really see them, but in front
like the
of their
stars when the stars
Right,
created
right.
his.
But it-
silhouette.
but like they had people back there moving these big pieces, like and on really tall sticks, and they fit together like a puzzle. And there was his face. He didn't have a mane; it was just his
Yeah.
face.
So it was all manual. There was no digital. There were no digital effects, really.
No,
To
not
this,
really.
it
No,
It was
No.
all
all
people.
puppet-
it was
and
all
people.
puppetry. Yeah,
And lights
Wow.
and just
Yeah.
little plain lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they, but like then they shone the light on the completed puzzle, the completed face, and it was
Right.
really big, and it might scare a younger child. So I would say like I
Like-
mean
I would say at least kindergarten
yeah.
and up.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was-
5 years.
Five.
and
5,
up
6,
would be
7.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Very good. And about how long is the play?
Let's see.
Maybe 2.5 hours.
2.5 to 3 hours.
Oh,
It was
wow.
it was longer than the movie.
Intermission.
It was longer than the.
Yeah,
oh,
it
so
was-
there was an intermission.
There was an intermission.
When does the intermission occur?
Right when Simba became an adult. During Hakuna Matata, at the very end of Hakuna Matata.
Oh, okay.
That's
After
intermission.
Timon and Pumbaa find him and
and
then
he decides he's gonna
stay with.
stay with them.
And
Now,
that's-
did they do the bug eating scene and all that when he's?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Wow! I can't believe they
Yeah.
did all of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
the-
nothing was really missing from the.
No, it was the complete story.
Yeah, and a lot of the same lines from the movie also.
Oh yeah.
Like
Wow.
exact same lines, like to the T. And with the bugging scene, like you said, the Pumbaa, it was just this big contraption that was Pumbaa, and the tongue could come out and go back in, and they could throw the food into the mouth, and it would just sit there until they could take it out, but without being seen. So, like, it wasn't just like that flat mouth; it went in, like down.
Like you thought he was eating it. He ate the bugs.
He ate the bugs. It was
yummy.
And he had gas too, just like in the movie.
Lots of it.
Was it smell-o-vision? Could you smell?
Oh no. Well, we didn't.
No, we did. It maybe a little closer up, like right on the stage. You might. I don't know.
Close.
Not that close. But the voices, the voices of the actors singing were unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, Rafiki.
Why are you asking her?
I don't know. Because she remembers more of it than I do.
I'm a lot older than her. I might know a little bit more.
My short-term memory is
Some
gone.
people have said I know a little bit about Disney. They're probably wrong. And Tim will tell you that I'm wrong, but still, I know un poquito for all our fans.
Anyhow, Rafiki, the woman that played Rafiki.
It was a woman.
Oh,
yeah, wow. Who else can get their voice to do the beginning of The Circle of Life? No, only a woman.
That's true.
Only a woman.
Well,
she was.
Elton John did it, but
okay.
So there.
Well, but she was.
He's special.
They did kind of an African kind of thing too, mixed in with that.
It was very, very African. Like they added in a lot of the culture, a lot of the African culture.
Okay. It was beautiful, and her voice was unreal, and she was funny.
She was hilarious.
Yeah.
She was crazy. She was crazy hilarious.
Crazy.
And she spoke mostly in the native language of Africa.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't even in English. I mean, she would like stop and say, "Did you understand any of that?"
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
But,
So it's a musical because they sing, but they're also just speaking lines, just like in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. Now you have been to a Broadway play.
Yes.
I have too.
And you have been to a Broadway play. Don't give me dirty looks. I'm a lot older than you.
I saw a play on Broadway in New York.
Now, what plays?
in New York.
What play have you seen on Broadway?
I saw the $1 Million Quartet with.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And we saw
And we saw
Broadway.
We saw in Cleveland last year. We saw Mamma Mia.
Okay.
And High School Musical.
And High School Musical a long time ago.
How does? We're not even going to go High School Musical. Okay. All right. I get it.
And I saw Phantom of the Opera in New York City.
And I'm jealous.
High School Musical. My wife and daughter went and saw High School Musical as well. And, oh my gosh! If only I could have that money back. Anyway. No, they did a fine job. Those young kids did a fine job. It's just if I could just have that money back. Anyway, so compared to the shows you guys have seen, how does this compare to those shows?
There is no comparison.
There really isn't. I mean, I haven't seen Phantom of the Opera or anything, and I'm sure that
Phantom
was
of the Opera
incredible.
Was amazing.
Yeah.
But this
took the cake.
This trumps.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
Wow.
It literally took our breath away, right?
Yeah, we both got choked up in the beginning because it was just so beautiful. It was just so...
Yeah, it wasn't like we've heard the song a million times, we've watched the movie a million times, but within the first minute or two of it, it's just so overwhelmingly beautiful, and we were just choked up.
That is a quite a testament.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to say worth every penny.
Worth every penny.
Every penny.
Would you go see it again?
Absolutely.
I would like to see it in New York on the bigger stages. Because, I mean, our stages in Cleveland are big, but to see it on an even, it was just so crowded with all the people, Probably have a lot more actors, more giraffes, more cheetahs, stuff like that.
Elephant. They had an elephant.
Yeah. Baby elephant. 2 elephants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So great show, worth every penny. Rate it from 1 to 10.
20. Can I do that?
No, it is definitely worth it. And I didn't think that the prices were very outrageous.
Really?
I didn't think
Not
so.
bad.
I don't know what
No.
she spent because it was my birthday
It
present.
was your
but-
birthday present.
Yeah.
Yes, and happy birthday. All our friends in the UK wish you a happy, and Canada, and Nigeria now. Wish you a happy birthday. I'm sure. You and the new prince, by the way.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, great. We appreciate. Thank you so much for giving us your input on the Lion King off-Broadway musical. And so you're recommending that to all of our listeners when it comes to their town. Don't miss it.
Don't miss
Don't
it.
miss it.
All right. So, Allison, Renee, thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank
you guys
you.
coming on the show. That'll do it for us tonight. Please listen to us or check us out on ResortLoop.com. Of course, on Twitter, Tim is ResortLoop Tim. I'm ResortLoop Bob on Twitter. You can get in touch with us. Bob at ResortLoop.com, Tim at ResortLoop.com, and of course Stitcher. Rate us on iTunes, all that fun stuff you guys already know. We've talked about it enough. For Tim Scott, who of course would tell you you have been listening to The Gateway to the Magic on ResortLoop.com. I am Bob Collar. See you, everybody.
You're so weird.
You have no idea.